Jayewardenepura, Dr. N.L.A. Sir, the Dean of Faculty of Medical Sciences, University of Jayewardenepura, Professor Mohanty Silva, Professor U.J. McMahon, Professor John Nichols, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to everyone and thank you for joining us at the International Visiting Lecture Team Program in Neuroscience 2012. Now to officially launch off the program in our own Sri Lankan way, may I now call upon some of the distinguished guests who are present here to light the traditional oil lamp. This will be performed by Dr. N.L.A. the Vice Chancellor of University of Jayewardenepura. Professor Mohanty Silva, the Dean, Faculty of Medical Sciences. Professor Swarna Piyasuri, the Dean, Faculty of Graduate Studies. Professor Dr. Mrs. Chanda Kulkarni, the Professor and Head, Clinical Pharmacology of St. John's Medical College, Bangalore. Dr. Paritha Dasanayaka, the Head, Department of Mechanical Engineering, University of Moratuva. Professor Dharindi Silva, the Organizer, VLTP, Faculty of Medical Sciences, University of Jayewardenepura.
That's all? I should make a check. Somebody else. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this important seminar. And at the outset, may I wish all of you a very happy New Year in traditional Sinhalese way. We just finished our New Year. And for all our international visitors, very welcome to Sri Lanka. I think it's a very important day for the faculty, and when we have such a galaxy of international experts in a very important field, neurosciences, gathered together from various parts of the globe, from the United States, from Israel, from Italy, from India, and from Sri Lanka. And this is all because of the effort of one man, Professor Mohanty Silva, who is a very dynamic personality in my faculty. And at the outset, may I take this opportunity to thank him for organizing such a marvelous event and bringing this galaxy of international visitors to our medical faculty and to our university. I also want to welcome the Deputy Mayor of this town, in this area, Mr. Nugegoda, for this meeting, and your visit here for this meeting installation, and all the other visitors. The subject is very complex, as you all understand. And I'm a surgeon by profession, but I'm not a neurosurgeon. Fortunately, my brother of medicine is a neurologist, so he will actually participate in your symposium, and he can certainly conclude much more than all from our faculty point of view and one. And I think the way I see it, it's a very novel program where you have international visiting lecture team coming to this part of the world and meeting the experts from here and discussing the areas of mutual interest. And the subject which is extremely complex. Neuroscience, as I see it, has made vast strides in our understanding of this particular field, and certainly it has huge implications on basic sciences, psychology, and surgery. So this is very, very timely that we have such a meeting. And I must take this opportunity to thank the Vice Chancellor of the University for his support to our faculty in all our endeavors. And I wish this meeting to thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It is with profound respect now I call upon the Vice Chancellor of Sri Jayewardenepura University, Dr. N.L.A. to say a few words to grace this wonderful occasion.
Dean of the Faculty of Medical Sciences, Professor Juan, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor Nugegoda, Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, Professor PhD, and distinguished foreign experts related to this program, Professor John Nichols, Professor Mohan, and other distinguished foreign experts, and Professor, our Deputy Mayor of the municipality, Mr. Gunsekara, and other staff members, our registrar, deputy registrars, and other officers, and all the other non-academic members, and distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we have just finished our New Year celebration. Therefore, I would like to wish you a very happy and prosperous and peaceful New Year for everybody. As our Dean of the Faculty of Medical Sciences mentioned, today we are able to conduct this program thanks to Professor Ranilda Silva. Ranilda Silva is the gentleman who was recruited as the number one. He is the first person recruited as a lecturer for this faculty. Therefore, he has contributed tremendously for the development of this faculty by way of various activities, He has done a lot of research. He has done a lot of extracurricular activities. His contribution for the sports development in the university, as well as a lot of other extracurricular activities, are highly commendable. Thanks to this dynamic, vibrant leadership qualities, he is able to attract foreign experts, enabling us to conduct this workshop. Under this workshop, we are discussing, we are disseminating knowledge related to neuroscience. I was able to watch some television programs which were conducted with Professor Ranil De Silva, and he was expressing the importance of this neuroscience field, especially a country like Sri Lanka. Why? Because our population is gradually aging. Aged people, and their number is gradually increasing. As a result, the possibility to expand diseases in the related to neurological malfunctioning and other diseases are very high. As a result, this kind of program is highly valuable, timely, and very important. At the same time, I would like to draw your attention to this university and its mission also. Actually, this university was established in 1959 in order to protect Sinhalese language under the university. 1958 Vidyalanka University Act, and under the powers of that act, number one power is to protect Sinhalese language and Buddhist civilization. Therefore, according to the powers of this university at the beginning, this kind of field is very important. When we talk about psychology, we are always talking the field and its experts related to Western countries. For the psychologist, father of psychology is considered as Sigmund Freud, considered as the father of psychology. However, according to Buddhism, the highest teachings of the Lord Buddha is completely devoted to analyze the mind. It is called Abhidhamma. In the Abhidhamma, mind is highly analyzed. Activities of the mind and the mental, which is mind is considered as a separate faculty, mental faculty. Therefore, for us, analysis of mind is not new. However, neurological analysis are very serious, as our professor once said, and there are a lot of things we can do with the neurological field, especially when we use neurology in the field under the medical sciences. There are a lot of things we can contribute. Considering the importance of this field, we are here trying our best to give our fullest cooperation support to Professor Ranil and the Dean of the Faculty and the faculty staff members of the University of Medical Sciences, the University of Jayewardenepura, medical faculty. Not only that, because nowadays this neuroscience field, neurological studies are not limited to medical sciences. Now it has become a multidisciplinary field. Therefore, we need to get the assistance. If we really want to help develop Professor Ranil and others in the faculty of medical sciences, this university, we really need to help. We really need to get the help from other faculty and other universities. Because why? Because this is a multidisciplinary field. Here we have the science faculty, applied science faculty, and we have management faculty, we have postgraduate faculty, we have social sciences and humanities. In the humanities, we have separate department for the Buddhist studies and like that. Therefore, in addition, our university is located within, actually, very close to Colombo. Colombo is not a big city. From Colombo city to this university, there are only 12 kilometers. Therefore, it is very close. As a result, we can, in Sri Lanka, thanks to our education system, we have a lot of qualified people in various fields. If we can establish new research activities related to neuroscience, new programs to teach neurosciences curriculum and courses like Bachelor of Science and Master of Science and Master of Philosophy, MPhils and PhDs, definitely we are able to conduct those courses very easily in this faculty and in this university. Therefore, we are here today to discuss these things as well. While we are talking about the development of this neuroscience, at the same time we are trying our best to establish this as a field to do research, thorough research, advanced research in the field as well as advanced courses related to neurology. I think I need not to talk more because you are here. Most of you are experts in the field. Therefore, you will have to express a lot of things. You will have to teach us a lot of things related to neurology and neuroscience. And once again, I personally, as the Vice Chancellor, appreciate the work and the effort and all the things done by Professor Ranil de Silva and Professor Juan de Silva and the other staff members and his supporters for organizing this program. And in addition, this is really an international program because here we have American professors, Israeli professors, Indian professors, Bangladeshi professors, and a lot of other experts representing various countries. Therefore, this is a very important program. At the same time, we can develop this field, enabling our people, to develop a healthy nation in Sri Lanka, especially with the healthy nation, mentally very healthy nation can be developed with this kind of subject. I know that we are going to have this program until 25th of this month. Therefore, there are a lot of things that we can do, and wishing all the best for our faculty members, for our foreign experts, for especially to our Professor Ranila Silla and his team. I conclude my speech. Wish you all the best for a very productive neuroscience academic and research program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for a thought-provoking speech. I will fail in my duty if I do not allocate a couple of minutes to another key person who was involved in organizing this program to say a few words. He is none other than Professor U.J. McMahon, Chair, VLTP Professor and Head Department of Biology, Texas A&M University, and the Professor Emeritus of Neurobiology and Structural Biology, Stanford University, Professor McMahon. Sir, it is my pleasure to invite you to deliver your speech.
On behalf of my colleagues and the visiting lecture team of the International Brain Research Organization, I want to thank you for inviting us here to speak to you and to your students on the subject of modern methods and approaches in neuroscience. All right. Modern methods and approaches in neuroscience. You're going to meet in just a few moments my esteemed colleague, Professor John Nichols, who has literally written the book about neuroscience. His new edition of his book and his colleagues has just come out, and he is going to donate a couple of volumes of that to the university. And I also would like to introduce you to Noreen Reist from the United States, Shlomo Rotschenker from Israel, and Matthew from India. Now, the International Brain Research Organization is an arm of UNESCO. It's sponsored by the United Nations. It has its office in Paris. And the aim of the International Brain Research Organization is to bring about communication among neuroscientists throughout the world. And that includes not only professional neuroscientists, but also students as well. And it does this in a number of ways. It sponsors scientific meetings, and it also runs courses for students. Some of those courses are highly specialized and small and just deal with particular technological aspects that have recently been developed. And other courses are larger, and lectures such as the ones that we are going to present here. We cannot cover all of the waterfront of neuroscience in the short amount of time that we have with your students here. What we do is that we focus on specific areas of current interest in neuroscience, and on our team, whom you've just met, are people who are expert in anatomy, expert in physiology, expert in biophysics, expert in biochemistry. And so the students will see how neuroscience thrives as an interdisciplinary science. And our hope is that we will bring about questions and generate questions and interests in your students so that they will want to participate in developing a career in neuroscience. And at the very end, we have a discussion with the students about how they can go about forwarding their career, what to do after they go, how to get to graduate school, what to do after graduate school, how to become a postdoctoral student, and how to develop a career along those lines. So we are speaking to the students not only about the science of neuroscience, but how to become scientists themselves. We're looking forward to a very productive and interesting 9 days here. And again, thank you very much for inviting us.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure to invite Professor John Nichols, Professor of Biophysics, Department of Neurobiology, International School for Advanced Studies, Italy, to address his distinguished gathering.
First, I want to thank Jack for allowing me to take part in this course, and Silva for having me here for a second time. As you know, we give these courses under the leadership of Jack several times a year in different countries. And an obvious question is, what exactly is the aim of a course like this, which lasts just a few days, where the students have the opportunity to meet scientists actively working in research. And colleagues often ask me, why do you do this? What's the point of it? Well, the point of it is Jayewardenepura. He's the best single example of why it is worth giving courses of this sort. The course we gave some years ago was organized by Ranil, and he showed at that time that it's possible with almost no money at all in a country that has very limited facilities for research to do absolutely first-rate work that's internationally accepted. As I remember it, you had only one microscope, nothing else. And so you had to find a problem that you could do with that. And Dr. De Silva found a problem related to the incidence of death of young men in Sri Lanka through cerebral hemorrhages. And he studied the blood vessels in the brain and came up with unexpected, extraordinarily interesting results that gave worldwide recognition for their excellence. And then, during this course, he set up a program to continue the work afterwards by joining EBRO, by joining neuroscience societies. And a few months later, I heard that one of his students had won a prize for one of the best posters at an international meeting in India. And so, what our hope is that the students will see how interesting neuroscience is, and to see that even with very limited resources, you can still do wonderful things in neuroscience. Honestly, without a lot of money, you can't do much in molecular biology. Without a lot of money, you can't do a lot of physics or chemistry. But you can do neurobiology with very little money. Why? Because so little is known, and because behavioral studies are not expensive to do. So I must say for myself, the students in Sri Lanka and Ranil were an inspiration, and I'm very grateful to have the chance to be here again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Last but not least, now it is time to put icing on the cake. Ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Professor Ranil De Silva to deliver the vote of thanks.
I, on behalf of the International Visiting Executive Program in Neuroscience and the entire, let me call the community of neuroscience here together, and on my behalf, extend a very heartfelt thanks to the following important people. Sir, the Vice Chancellor, Dr. N.L.A. Karunarathi of the University of Jayewardenepura. He was actually behind the entire program. He gave unbelievable support, strength, and all the facilities available in the faculty can serve. Thank you very much. Then my dean, Professor Mohan D. Silva, the Faculty of Medical Sciences, who was giving us all the help, guidance and courage. Thank you very much, sir. Then, of course, I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to Professor Jack McMahon, Professor Matthew, Professor John Nichols, Professor Noreen, and Professor Shimo for spending a valuable time with us on a beautiful morning. And your presence here is symbolized your affection and respect. I very much appreciate your presence. I also take this opportunity to thank the Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, Professor Swarna PSL, for giving us excellent support and providing excellent infrastructural facility to organize this program. I would also like to thank the Dean Faculty of Arts, Professor Koral, for raising this occasion. And also I would like to thank the Head Anatom, Pharmacology, Pediatrics and Surgery for helping us with the infrastructural facility. I would also extend my sincere thanks to the following. We have participants coming from Sri Lanka, from various universities, Peradeniya, Colombo, Moratuva, Kalaniya, and from various fields, and also covering graduates, undergraduates, medical students, from various fields, engineering, computers. And also I am very sincerely thankful for the Indian doctors who are coming all the way from far away from places like Jayewardenepura University, St. John's Hospital, Bangalore, Postgraduate Institute of Medical Research in Chandigarh, for coming all the way to share their knowledge also with us. And also I'll convey our heartiest thanks to the Bursar, the Registrar, the Vice Chancellor's Office staff, Dr. Girana Sekar, Mr. Manoj, Computer Center for their wholehearted support and for the education and support from Professor Abhiratna Banda for the education and support. I also thank our supporting events, especially goes to our sponsors, Country Sky Food, Shillong Vistas, Patmale Holdings, Melbourne Vistas, TFTC. And I also sincerely thank the electronic and the print media, MTV, Sirasa, RTV, Shakti, ITM, Channel Live, DNL, Rupavahini, Daily Mirror, Daily News and Island in Ceylon Today, and many other newspapers for giving us publicity in this important event. And I also take moments to thank the press and the newspapers especially. And I also especially thanks to my research team, Mr. Nalika, Dashi and Kanishka and Danisha, who did a tremendous work, and if not for them, I mean, we would have not been able to put this together. And I'm sincerely thankful for them not to contact me. And also the medical students has come to our help with Samoja, Kisao, Suresh and Lushani, Killer and Ratnapriya for their active participation in our maintenance program. And also we would like to see that this could be a stepping stone for further development in neuroscience. And in this field we are trying to set up a MSc in neuroscience, and we are very grateful for the visiting lecture team program and for the Indian doctors to help us in this program. And also we have been given assurance from Professor Harry Chinkner from he is the Dean of the European Graduate School of Neurosciences, who will help us with this program. So at an event of this dimension cannot happen overnight, and we will start rolling months in advance. It requires meticulous planning and execution on the eve of details. I have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of motivated and dedicated colleagues who know their job and result oriented. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take the completion of the projects beyond their comfort zone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And thank you once again for your patience and full attention. Ladies and gentlemen, I kindly ask you to rise up for the national anthem of Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata. Sundara Sitarini, Surani Ati Sobamana Lanka. Raya Nagara Nekamal Wala Guru Jaya Bhumi Ranga. Apa mata sapa siri seta sadara, Jivana ye Mata. Pilihkanu mana apa bhakti puja, Namo Namo Mata. Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata. Obame apa vidya, Obamaya apa satya, Obame apa shanti, apa hadatul bhakti, apa aloke, apa di anugrani, apa jivanane, apa mukti obame. Nava jivana dinini, nikila apa kuburu teran mata. Jnana vida vada bandina ragila yanu ranga jaya bhumi para. Ekmavagati baru kala barina, yamu yamu vinopama. Prema vada sarvaveda durala, Namo Namo Mata. Apa Sri